The music rose the moment she leaned in. Violins swelling, laughter floating, glasses clinking all around us. My sister stood close, white silk brushing my arm, her smile fixed perfectly for the audience. Then she whispered, calm and sharp, "Apologize or leave. We don't want you here." Every face turned toward me, not out of concern, out of curiosity, like people watching a fire, waiting to see what burns. I felt the heat on my skin. I felt the blade slide in. I nodded once. I didn't apologize. I walked away. The door didn't slam. No drama, no echo, just a quiet, final click. I helped plan that wedding. I paid deposits. I calmed her during midnight spirals when she said everything was falling apart. When we were kids, I stood between her and our father's temper. I taught her to drive on dusty ranch roads, her hands shaking on the wheel. We laughed every time the engine stalled. We grew up wild and dusty, shaped by land and rules. We learned how to bend together. I loved her. That's why it hurt, and that's why it mattered. Because betrayal isn't loud, it's careful. It hides behind lace and lipstick and calls itself necessity. Weeks before the wedding, I found out the truth, not from her, from an email she forgot to delete on the ranch office computer. My name wasn't there as a sister, it was there as a problem. She and her fiancé had decided the ranch needed clean ownership. Investors didn't like complications, and apparently I was one. Their plan was smooth and quiet. After the wedding, I'd sign a temporary management transfer. They'd promise a buyback, never follow through, sell everything, smile. I didn't confront her. I didn't cry. I didn't warn anyone. I planned. I pulled the old files first. Original deeds, trust changes, Grandpa's handwritten notes, the ink bleeding but the intentions clear. He split the ranch evenly, but after she left for college and I stayed, things changed. Sweat equity, operational control, right of first refusal. And the keys? They weren't symbolic. They were named. I hired a quiet, expensive lawyer. We audited accounts, traced wedding expenses tied to ranch funds, documented unauthorized meetings with buyers on our land. Cameras caught them pacing fence lines, pointing, measuring, dreaming, on property they didn't own. Outwardly, I changed nothing. I smiled at dress fittings, raised glasses at bridal showers, wore calm like armor. At the wedding, she struck early, public, sharp, humiliating. She wanted to break me before the ask. She wanted me small, grateful just to stay. I gave her the stage and walked off it. The next morning, my phone buzzed while I was feeding the horses. The air was clean. The sky felt honest. "Ela," she said, breathless now. "No crowd, no performance. I need the ranch keys." I leaned on the fence and watched the dust rise, then settle. I took a slow breath and said the words she'll never forget. They were never yours. Silence followed, then anger, then pleading, then threats. Each one arrived too late, like rain after a wildfire. I didn't explain. I didn't have to. The lawyer handled that at the emergency meeting she demanded. Paper slid across polished wood, dates circled, clauses highlighted. Audio played of her husband promising buyers access he never had the right to give. Accounts were frozen, buyers disappeared. The venue reissued invoices. Personal charges were separated from business funds. The bank called their loan. She cried, not for me, but for the future she had already spent. When she showed up at the ranch without warning, I met her at the gate. The keys felt heavy in my pocket. She reached for them out of habit. I stayed still. "You humiliated me," she said. "You tried to erase me," I replied. Without silk, without applause, she looked smaller. Just my sister, caught. The truth doesn't need an audience. It needs light. I offered fair terms, transparency, boundaries, respect. She refused. Pride costs more than people think. The fallout was quiet. That's how real consequences come. No viral moment, no applause, just doors closing where they once opened, calls that stopped being returned, a life forced to rebalance. I kept the ranch. I improved it, paid the staff better, put my name on the gate beside Grandpa's. The land seemed to breathe easier. Sometimes I think back to the music swelling when she tried to break me and the certainty in her eyes. I didn't act out of revenge. I acted because I refused to disappear. Power doesn't shout. It waits. It watches. It remembers. And when it finally speaks, it only needs a few words.